There's one fact nobody on Earth can argue with. Every single year, we get fatter. Not you specifically. All of us. Every country, every continent, at the exact same time. And your whole life, they've told you it's your fault. No willpower. Lazy. Just put down the chips and hit the gym. Fix yourself.
Lazy.
It's a lie. Not a small one. $1 trillion one. Here's what I'm actually going to prove to you today. The obese body is not a glitch in the system. It's not a mistake the economy is trying to fix. It's a requirement. The world we live in needs you a little fatter, a little more addicted, a little more anxious every year, because that is how it keeps growing. And I'm going to show you exactly how it's done and exactly who gets rich while it happens to you. According to the CDC, back in the early 1960s, about 13% of American adults were obese. Severe obesity, the category that used to be medically rare, was under 1%. Today, obesity is over 40%. Severe obesity is almost 10%. It didn't creep up, it got multiplied. 10 times more Americans are now in the most dangerous weight class than 60 years ago. Worldwide, more than 1 billion people are obese. Childhood obesity has roughly quadrupled since the 1970s. And here's the part that should stop you cold. According to the World Health Organization, around 2.8 million people die every year from being overweight. That same year, on the same planet, about 9 million die from hunger. One group is eating itself to death. The other is starving. And we grow enough food for every one of them, then throw away almost 1/5 of it. Now, I know the standard answers. We move less, we drive everywhere, junk food's on every corner, food got cheap. Sure, all true, all boring, all missing the point. I'm not here to hand you the eat less, move more fortune cookie. I want to show you what's underneath it. The machine we live inside doesn't just allow obesity, it manufactures it on purpose because it has to. We love to treat this as a personal failing. You weak? No self-control? Just close your mouth and go for a run. Would one cookie really kill you? And look, I'm going to try to show you that the individual is nowhere near as guilty as you've been trained to believe. Start with the obvious question. Didn't we just get richer? For almost all of human history, food was the problem nobody could solve. Before kings, before states, nobody was drowning in surplus. Picture a hunter-gatherer eating himself sick. You can't. The food wasn't there. Then hierarchy shows up. The state shows up. And for the first time, a thin slice at the top, the priests and the kings, start feasting and going soft. But the other 99%? Still eating just barely enough to survive. Mass overeating still isn't a thing. Then the Industrial Revolution hits. Production explodes, and suddenly the food problem looks solved. There's so much abundance that a brand new word has to be invented: obesity. Capitalism is so good at its job that for the first time in history, humans started dying in large numbers from eating too much. Let that sit for a second. That's the success story. And right here is where most people stop me. That's not capitalism, that's just greed. Humans are greedy. Give people abundance and they stuff their faces. Obesity is a willpower problem. End of story. For a long time, that was the whole script. Capitalism creates wealth, wealth creates abundance, greedy humans overeat. Case closed. Okay, if that's true, the richest country should be the fattest and the poorest the thinnest. Clean line. Take America. Giant portions, endless abundance, and sure enough, the US sits at the very top of the obesity charts. Fits perfectly. Except the second you look away from America, that line falls apart. Japan is rich, South Korea is rich, Switzerland is loaded. They're some of the leanest countries on Earth. Japan's obesity rate is roughly 1/20th of America's. If wealth equals fat, somebody forgot to tell Tokyo. So it's not how much money is in the country. It's something else.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
It's how hard you're willing to leash the companies. How far you let the government reach into the free market. Here's the cleanest proof I can give you. Take one product, Same brand, same logo. Buy it in Europe, then buy it in the US, and read both labels. It is not the same food. American Skittles were made with titanium dioxide and dyes like Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. The European version got reformulated because Europe restricts that stuff. Fruit Loops, Mountain Dew, candy after candy. The US bag gets the synthetic dyes, and the EU bag gets natural color, or a warning label printed right on the front that says it may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Same company, same product. One of them just decided your kid's attention span isn't its problem. That gap is not an accident. The European Union allows around 400 food additives. The United States allows more than 10,000. Europe's rule is basically prove it's safe before you sell it. America's rule is sell it until somebody proves it kills people. The European Food Safety Authority banned titanium dioxide as a food additive. In the US, it's still sitting in the candy aisle. So when a country leans on the companies, regulates the oils, bans the additives, forces the label, people get healthier. When it lets the market do whatever prints the most money, people get sicker. It was never really about your willpower. It was about who's allowed to write the rules. Now you might say, the market just reflects what people want. If people keep buying junk, how is that the company's fault?
No, 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 no.
And there it is again. We slide right back to blaming the individual. But you have to understand something. As one person, you are almost guaranteed to lose this fight. Because the other side isn't a person. It's organized, it's funded, and it is, very literally, at war with your appetite. Let me show you the battlefield. Under capitalism, food is not first and foremost something you eat. It's something you sell. It became a commodity, a product like any other, and nobody makes a commodity for its use. They make it for its price. The proof is grotesque. We throw away roughly a quarter of all the food we grow on a planet where 9 million people starve every year. If the goal were feeding people, that couldn't happen. The goal isn't feeding people. The goal is selling food. If it rots in a dumpster after the sale, not the company's problem. So food producers do what every company does. They chase maximum profit. And the shortest path to more profit is selling more. To sell more food, you need people to eat more food. So the whole industry sits down and asks one question, all day, every day. How do we get you to eat just a little bit more? That's where the engineering starts. Sweeteners, combinations of sugar and fat and salt you would never find together in nature, tuned to a precise point where your brain lights up and your "I'm full" signal never quite fires. The industry has a name for that exact spot. It's not a nutrition target, it's a sales target. The food doesn't have to nourish you. It doesn't have to be healthy. It has one job: make you consume more of it. And it works. According to the CDC, more than half the calories the average American eats, about 53% for adults and over 60% for kids, now come from ultra-processed food. That is not a nation freely choosing carrots. That's capital reaching back into millions of years of evolution and hot-wiring your biology against you. But you have free will. Just don't get manipulated. Here's what that misses. The people designing this food, the ads, the packaging, the timing, are some of the smartest human beings alive, backed by billions of dollars. And their entire job is to get you to eat a little more. You, alone, muttering, "I'll just have one," think you can out-willpower that. Maybe you can. If so, honestly, congratulations. But when obesity climbs every single year like clockwork, you have to admit the truth. The population is being pushed, deliberately. And don't picture a few cartoon villains in a dark room rubbing their hands together, fattening us up for fun. That's not it. These companies don't want you to consume more because they're evil. They want it because they're playing by the rules of the game we all live in. A system whose first commandment is infinite growth needs infinite consumption to match it. Somebody has to eat all of it, forever. Put it this way. If you explained the laws of capitalism to an alien who had never seen Earth, then asked it to draw the creature that would evolve inside such a system, it wouldn't draw an athlete. It would draw something huge, always eating, always buying, never satisfied. Obesity is just capitalism showing up in the flesh. It's the system wearing a human body. Because the modern person is trained to hunt for happiness in consumption. Every billboard is the same image, somebody consuming something and smiling. And it's not just food, it's the newer car you don't need, the phone you replace every year, the mall trip as a fun activity. Consuming feels so good that when you run out of money to do it, you sit down and watch other people do it instead. You watch unboxing videos, someone else buying things. You watch mukbangs, someone else eating like an animal, and somehow it scratches the itch. We basically invented pornography for shopping and eating, and nobody even blinked. Humans are not naturally greedy, bottomless consumers. That's the whole trick. Capitalism has to manufacture that person, because capital can only grow one way. Through someone who always wants to consume more, and who therefore has to sell their labor over and over and over to afford it. The endless shopper and the endless worker are the same exhausted human being. We're trained to believe every success and every failure is 100% us, that we are the sole author of our own life. It's flattering. It's also a lie the culture tells you, because this neoliberal logic has turned the individual into a little god. So let me deflate that a bit. You think your tastes are yours? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day wasn't handed down by doctors. It was a cereal slogan. Kellogg's started pushing it around 1917 to move cornflakes, and by the 1940s, it was gospel. You eat popcorn at the movies because someone drilled that pairing into your skull. You drink a Coke with a burger, same beef sitting in a meatball sub, but that one gets a different drink because burger and cola was welded together in your brain by an ad budget. Your personal taste is covered in fingerprints, and none of them are yours. Now step off food for a second, because the exact same move happens with your mind. In the richest capitalist countries, anxiety is climbing. People are more stressed. Suicide rates are up. And when you go get help, what does the system tell you? Change your mindset. Get a hobby. Change the people around you. Or here, swallow this antidepressant. You'll feel better. It shrinks the whole thing down to you and tries to fix you. But a lot of the time, the problem isn't in your head. It's in the setup. Getting up at 6, commuting into a box, sitting in that box 8 hours, repeating it until you retire or die. That breaks people. The constant pressure to grow, to optimize, to be productive, that manufactures the stress. Then the system hands you a pill for a wound it gave you. Same story with your phone. You felt it. You scroll for an hour, you close the app, you feel worse. And the internet is stuffed with advice on beating that addiction. All of it aimed at you. You're weak. Strengthen your willpower. Your fault. Convenient. Here's the part they skip. Those apps are deliberately engineered to be addictive by some of the best engineers, psychologists, and behavioral scientists on the planet, with billions of dollars behind them. This isn't a theory. A Facebook whistleblower named Frances Haugen walked out with the company's own internal research. Research showing they knew Instagram made body image worse for teen girls, made some more anxious, pushed some towards suicidal thoughts, and they sat on it. One insider compared it to handing teenagers cigarettes. You are not going to out-discipline a billion-dollar machine built to hijack your attention. Let me draw the whole thing for you. Picture a flat, open floor, and you're walking across it with everyone else. Off to the side, someone is pouring grease in your path. Someone's sticking out a foot. Someone's flat out shoving you. So you fall. You get obese. You get hooked on the scroll. You grow anxious. And a few people, somehow, dodge all of it and keep walking. Then the same guys who greased the floor point at them and say, "See, that one made it. No problems at all. Why couldn't you? You're the problem. You're not enough. Go fix yourself. Be more like him." That is maybe the biggest lie modern society believes, that the people who fell did it to themselves. The real reason they fell is the grease, the foot, the shove. It's the same script everywhere. Poor? Your fault. You didn't work hard enough. Rich? All you. All earned. Everything is on you. Nobody in that story ever stops to ask, hey, the game is rigged. Are we even racing on the same track? Does equal opportunity actually exist? They just find one outlier, someone who really did claw up from nothing and hold him up in your face. He did it, you didn't. That's on you. I know I've covered a lot of ground, but here's what's underneath all of it. A class conflict everyone pretends doesn't exist anymore. Billionaires are not your friends. Not unless you're a billionaire too. The guy profits by making you obese while he stays lean and eats clean. He profits by keeping you scrolling for hours while he bans screens for his own kids. Which, by the way, the tech executives famously do. They sell you the drug and keep their own children away from it. That should tell you everything. So what do you actually do? On your own, against billions in capital, it's nearly hopeless. But your class has exactly one advantage: numbers. You organize. And the tool sitting right there for that is the state. Because, for now, we still live in something like a democracy. You use the sheer weight of your side to make the state move. You can get addictive additives banned. You can force companies to use real oils. You can pass laws that stop the algorithms from vacuuming up your data and weaponizing your weaknesses against you. You can keep predatory, addictive platforms away from kids who can't defend themselves, which France just did, becoming the first EU country to ban social media for under 15s, and which Australia did, banning it under 16. It's not a fantasy. It's already happening. There are solutions outside the state too, but all of it starts with one thing. Stop falling for the propaganda that says it was only ever your fault. The willpower story isn't there to help you. It's there to keep you staring down at yourself instead of up at the people pouring the grease. You were never in a fair fight, and you were never in it alone.